A Summer Evening's Meditation by Laeticia Barbauld. From Poems, 1773. 'Tis past. The sultry tyrant of the south has spent his short-lived rage. More grateful hours move silent on. The skies no more repel the dazzled sight, but with mild maiden beams of tempered light invite the cherished eye to wander o'er their sphere, where hung aloft Dian's bright crescent, like a silver bow new strung in heaven, lifts high its beamy horns, impatient for the night, and seems to push her brother down the sky. Fair Venus shines even in the light of day, with sweet beam propitious shines, and shakes a trembling flood of softened radiance from her dewy locks. The shadows spread apace, while meekened Eve, her cheek yet warm with blushes, slow retires through the Hesperian gardens of the west, and shuts the gates of day. 'Tis now the hour when contemplation from her sunless haunts the cool damp grotto or the lovely depth of unpierced woods, where wrapped in solid shade she mused away the gaudy hours of noon, and fed on thoughts unripened by the sun, moves forward, and with radiant finger points to yon blue conclave swelled by breath divine, where, one by one, the living eyes of heaven awake, quick kindling o'er the face of ether, one boundless blaze, 10,000 trembling fires and dancing lusters, where the unsteady eye restless, and dazzled wandering unconfined. O'er all this field of glories, a spacious field, and worthy of the master, he whose hands with hieroglyphics elder than the Nile inscribed the mystic tablet, hung on high to public gaze, and said, "Adore, O man, the finger of thy God." From what pure wells of milky light, what soft o'erflowing urns, are all these lamps so filled? These friendly lamps, forever streaming o'er the azure deep, to point our path and light us to our home. How soft they slide along their lucid spheres, and silent as the foot of time, fulfill their destined courses. Nature's self is hushed, and but a scattered leaf which rustles through the thick wove foliage, not a sound is heard to break the midnight air, though the raised ear, intensely listening, drinks in every breath. How deep the silence, yet how loud the praise! But are they silent all, or is there not a tongue in every star that talks with man and woos him to be wife, nor woos in vain? This dead of midnight is the noon of thought, and wisdom mounts her zenith with the stars. At this still hour the self-collected soul turns inward, and behold, a stranger there, of high descent and more than mortal rank, an embryo god, a spark of fire divine, which must burn on for ages when the sun, fair transitory creature of a day, has closed his golden eye and, wrapped in shades, forgets his wonted journey through the east. Yea, citadels of light and the seat of gods, perhaps my future, from whence the soul, revolving periods past, may oft look back with recollected tenderness on all the various busy scenes she left below, its deep-laid projects and its strange events, as on some fond and doting tale that soothed her infant hours. O be it lawful now to tread the hallowed circle of your courts, and with mute wonder and delighted awe approach your burning confines. Seized in thought on fancy's wild and roving wing I sail, from the green borders of the peopled earth and the pale moon, her duteous fair attendant, from solitary Mars, from the vast orb of Jupiter, whose huge gigantic bulk dances in aether like the lightest leaf, to the dim verge, the suburbs of the system, where cheerless Saturn, midst his watery moons, girt with a lucid zone in gloomy pomp, sits like an exiled monarch. Fearless thence I launch into the trackless deeps of space, where burning round 10,000 suns appear of elder beam, which ask no leave to shine of our terrestrial star, nor borrow light from the proud regent of our scanty day. Sons of the morning, firstborn of creation, and only less him who marks their track, and guides their fiery wheels. Here I must stop, or is there aught beyond? What hand unseen impels me onward through the glowing orbs of habitable nature far remote, to the dread confines of eternal night, to solitudes of vast unpeopled space, the deserts of creation wide and wild, where embryo systems and unkindled suns sleep in the tomb of chaos? Fancy droops, and thought astonished stops her bold career. But O thou mighty mind, whose powerful world said, "Thus let all things be," and thus they were. Where shall I seek thy presence? How unblamed invoke thy dread persecution? Have the bread eyelids of the morn beheld thee? Or does the beamy shoulder of Orion support thy throne? O look with pity down on erring guilty man, not in thy names of terror clad, not with those thunders armed that conscience Sinai felt. When fear appalled the scattered tribes, thou hast a gentler voice, that whisper comforts to the swelling heart, abashed yet longing to behold her Maker. But now my soul, unused to stretch her powers in flight so daring, drops her weary wing, and seeks again the known accustomed spot. Dressed up with sun and shade and lawns and streams, a mansion fair and spacious for its guest, and full replete with wonders. Let me here, content and grateful, wait the appointed time and ripen for the skies. The hour will come when all these splendors, bursting on my sight, shall stand unveiled, and to my ravished sense unlock the glories of the world unknown.